Everyone knows the teenagers don't have a lot of money and would like to know safe and legal methods to make more. Well, I'm here to tell you there are ways to do this that don't involve manual labor and part-time jobs. Investing. Have you considered beginning investing early? Yes, you can start right now. As a matter of fact, you don't have to wait till you're done with college and all grown up. However, it is good to be informed and know what you're doing. The way it works is that investments are assets, usually money, that are put into a company with the plan of making more money and multiplying profits. Beginning this while still in your teenage years can set you ahead of the game for several different reasons. Getting started. It's good to have gameplay in mind while starting any venture in life. The same goes for investing. Investment strategies are pretty flexible too. You should keep your resources in mind, how much time and money you have to dedicate to this goal, and decide according to that. It also wouldn't hurt to keep an eye out for growth tactics and keep up with the constantly fluctuating economy. This can even be as simple as following the news. There are also things you have to bear in mind while making these choices, such as your current financial situation and how much your monthly expenditure is overall. As long as you see the bigger picture and make wise decisions, there's nothing stopping you from achieving your goals. Speaking of goals, you should know why you're doing this. What your plans are with the money you're setting out to make. Are you saving for higher education? Or maybe you just want to have something in the bank saved up in case of a rainy day. Whatever your reasons are will affect the choices you make during your investment venture, so it's smart to be mentally set and ready with your plans. Having a strategy. One of the effective strategies for the investment itself is value marketing. This is when investors look for underpriced stock which shows a lot of promise and is largely overlooked by other investors. What makes this work so well is that you buy stocks for a cheap price that brings in more money than expected. However, this one's kind of a hit or a miss. The stats don't lie, and in this case, research has shown that this method doesn't bring in any huge profit percentages. It takes a pretty long time to bring home large sums, and in order for it to be successful, it will take years. Another way to go about it is growth investing. This is the simplest, most straightforward method out there. For this, you just have to look at how well a stock is currently doing and how much potential it has in the near future. You also take into consideration the industry the stock belongs to. For example, if there's a future for AI, while considering investing in a company that specializes in developing it. But like everything else, this also has some drawbacks. Growth investing has not proven to be particularly successful. If a company is in its early stages, needs money for its development, and there will be less left over to hand back to its investors. Well, this one also pays off over time. That's why if you're smart, you'll start while you're still in school. Compounding. Many people don't know about compounding, which is investing right back the money earned through investments already made. A lot of money can be made, most of which comes through the interest that accumulates over time. Now you have more time to allow this to bring you more and more profit since you chose to start early. Suppose you took a risk that didn't work out and lost some money, but nothing to fear, since you have a head start already. You're allowed to make more mistakes since you're also going to have more time to cover them up. One of the biggest factors to consider while taking risks in investments is the time you have. For example, if you're close to retirement and need money for that, then it probably isn't a good idea to take many risks. But if you're a teen investing, in order to have something for your future, you can be relaxed and take larger risks. You should also remember that even though bigger risks equal bigger payoff, they can just as easily lead to bigger loss too. Don't put yourself in debt at such an early age. Stocks. Investors should also know what stocks are. Stocks are fractions of a corporation. It's the thing that brings in the money for generating their services and products. When you buy a stock, you're technically a shareholder, which is an owner in the company. Buying stocks is commonly known as the best and simplest way to begin investing. A good time to buy stocks is when prices are flaring up. Strike while the iron is hot, and you could get many benefits. Investments of all kinds always play out like a gamble. There's no such thing as a sure thing. Even when a stock looks certain to bring you profits, anything could happen. The good news is that there are a lot of choices, maybe even too many choices, when it comes to stocks. Everything from small startups to established international corporations is fair game. So many different businesses to choose from, such as fashion, print media, pharmaceuticals, food chains, software companies, production houses. The possibilities are endless. Stocks are much easier to deal with than real estate, we'll get to that in a minute too. Buying and selling stocks is a much easier and simpler process than with real estate. Plus, if you ever need cash in an emergency, you can just sell your stocks too. Real estate. As if teens would have any interest in real estate, am I right? But hear me out, real estate also has a lot to do with investment. This covers the owning, upkeep, or selling of properties with the goal behind it being to make money. The simplest example of this that can be seen is purchasing an apartment and renting it out to someone for a monthly income. What sets this method apart from the usual investing in stocks is that all the investment money doesn't have to be paid up front through leverage. A part of the cost is paid up front, then the remaining over a set period with interest. Of course, this method is obviously a bit difficult for young adults to get into since you aren't expected to have a lot of money during these years. However, it is worth considering on the offhand chance that you can afford it. Properties are assets, and having them assures of certain footing on which you will always be promised a somewhat steady financial footing, a little something to always be able to fall back on in hard times. Flipping. Flipping is when you take a real estate property that doesn't have a lot of value and you repair it accordingly and bring its value up, and then sell it to a buyer for a much higher price than the one which you received for it. The price can go up in two ways, either actually work done to the property itself or it being expanded through construction. Sort of like how the market works at wholesale and retail prices. This is a relatively simple form of investment since you are putting in money with the intention of making more money through that. But flipping is not only an investment of your money, it also takes your time. Building a property up and making it look new through renovations is a huge risk. It takes up a lot of your resources, and there are always chances you may not find a buyer for the property and may be forced to sell it at a lower price than you'd hoped, removing your profit. Now I know what you must be thinking, this seems so easy. It's not. There are many mistakes that can be made while flipping. The most typical one being where not only the amount of time and money, but also the knowledge needed is seriously underestimated. Also, once the changes are made to the property, every day that passes before its sale to a new buyer weighs heavy on the pockets of the flipper. Charges such as gas and mortgages are often not foreseen by many people. Well, there you have it, investing made simple for teens. I hope I was able to get through to at least a few of you and teach you a thing or two.